Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be lowering this Defender 90. Overall, I'm not quite sure, but we've specified custom springs. You won't be able to buy these anywhere else. We've actually had these manufactured, and these are a -3" lift. So, -3" drop, sorry. So these have already got, this vehicle has already got a 1" lowering kit fitted to it. And we've already fitted our big brake kits. We've done a load of stuff, including our new slimline light bar, which is really nice and neat. We've done this whole image, what you can see here. This came to us as pretty much as a black basic van. We've cut the bulkhead out, we've done the seats, we've done a load of stuff to it. It looks really, really neat and tidy. But I did say to the customer, as it left, it could just do with a little bit more drop. And I think we've sort of estimated that we'd like to get rid of this arch gap here as much as possible, but without fitting our air suspension kit. So we've actually had some custom springs manufactured. And these bad boys are really short. So, Juice Motors, -3" fronts. Now, I'm gonna show you guys a 1" drop spring, just so you can get an idea of how low this thing is gonna sit. So this spring is -1" already, which is already fitted to this vehicle. And this is our new one. So, super short. And they're quite soft, so they're gonna be nice and comfortable. Much like these. So I'm really excited to see these fitted. We're going to go around, we're going to measure its current drop. The reason why we're dropping it so much is because these wheels, they're 18s and then they've got big tyres as well. So an overall radius, I think we're running about 20" wheels and tyre package. So it's sitting a bit higher. So that's what we want to do. We want to get rid of that arch drop and just make it look like a fast road car that it is, because we've done a big intercooler, fast road kit, full custom exhaust, loads of billet aluminium, a light bar. It's a very city styling one, and he never uses it off-road, so we want to get this thing as low as possible, but static, so a static drop. So the front, we're measuring at 875 mil. And the rear, 870. Let's get them fitted. So Leon, this might be a little bit against what the purists believe in. Do you think a Defender should go this low?
I think you should do what you like, really.
Yeah, it's your car, absolutely. This is your car.
I feel it looks like an awesome car. It looks like a fast car, so it'd be a bit different to see one that's
properly low.
For a change.
I'm excited to see how it's going to look and how low it's going to sit.
It's the first time I've seen this lower one, apart from air.
Yeah, 100%. And it'll be static.
Yeah. And all the cars I've owned, I've always lowered.
100%.
Since I've worked with you, it's always raising.
Lift them.
Yeah, so
this is the first one. This is the first one. And this car, we really should have actually done a bit more content with, and I apologise about that. This vehicle came in as a black basic van. It did have these wheels, it did have the bowler package on it. However, it had like some flexi arches on it. But we've done the whole interior. We machine polished the whole vehicle. We fitted a fast intercooler. This is a really, really fast 2.2 2015, I believe, or even 16 Defender 90, and this thing is immaculate. So we fitted the Fox shocks to it already. It already had the 1" drop, but I believe they're Britpart springs. And like I said, with the wheels and tyre package, they are a bigger wheel and an even bigger tyre. So that's why we've got it looking almost like it's standard height, even though it's an inch drop, because of the wheels and the tyre package. So we're going to be fitting our -3" drop. And I believe that is overall, or that could be, depending on how we measured this thing, and this is why I'm quite excited, because it could end up being a 4" drop. So we could end up having a very low Defender here. But it's going to be very interesting to see how this thing looks and rides, because this is so against the norm. You're not really supposed to or allowed to lower a Defender this much as far as the community is concerned, because it should be off-roaded, it should be sinking in the mud, blah, blah, blah. This is purely road-based, this vehicle, and wow, let's get cracking.
see it.
This thing is going to be absolutely decked out, and I couldn't be happier. That we need to and done everything correct is this baby chime.
Yeah, what's that? Is that what you're ringing me for?
Leon can be told at any minute that he's gonna have a baby.
Right. A trunk's been delivered.
A trunk's been delivered. So the baby's not coming.
But baby's not delivered, but the trunk is. Love you, goodbye.
Back to lowering. So guys, that is our front set installed, and there are some minor concerns if it is going to be too low. These springs are quite soft and supple, so they're going to be comfortable, so it's not going to be bouncing all over the place whilst it's going down the road. But that means obviously they're already super short in their housing, but obviously when we finally actually drop this vehicle down onto its own weight, they're going to sink even further. So, yeah, I mean, they're sort of a little bit loose here. They're not going to dislocate, unless obviously you flex away, but obviously the fronts will relocate. But there are some concerns, and the only way we can find out is by doing the rears, dropping it down and having a look. And I'll make sure the springs are located. The rear's locked in on your side. Just when the wheels actually hit the deck, stop it, and then we'll see. We also need to check the prop angle as well. Make sure that's not too close. Right, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Right, just check them off. My side at the rear is good. Yeah? Okay, go, send it. How low? How low? Imagine if it just sits like 2-inch lift. Okay, so we're low already. Oh my god.
Oh no.
Oh no. Okay, that looks... that looks ridiculous.
I can nearly see over a roof.
I feel like we might have gotten away with this. Because I feel like we might have a bit of luck here. This looks sensational.
That's going to drop as well, though, once they settle in.
Will it drop? How's the prop angle?
We'll get it outside.
Mate, this looks ridiculous. It looks so good. And it's got the rake as well. It's still got the nose down. Yeah. What's the bump stop saying on the front? Bump stop to axle?
Get the road out and we get it outside.
Oh my god. We're in access mode here. We need to get modified bump stops for this, 100%. They're 5 mil away. This is just complete access mode for air. So if you hit a bump, that is going to just bottom out on the bump stop. But yeah, that's the bump stop there. Amazing, amazing. I mean, that looks
What are we saying? Should we get outside?
that looks so good. I think get it outside just so we can visualise this. Let's piece it back together.
Yeah.
But this is the lowest that I'm aware, the lowest static defender in the country, potentially in the world. You saw it here first. If you saw this come up behind you, you'd be like, oh, it's fast.
Well, it's noisy as well, so it's like, it's got the whole package.
Mate, I love the rake. It's not too much. It almost looks like a kit car now, in the best way. Look how low it is.
It's nice and easy to work on.
Oh my goodness. Put the light bar on, just flick this light bar. So guys, this is our new light bar. And this is super slim, and it's not to interfere with the roof line, but this thing is mega bright. Whew. Okay, go on, I'm dying to see it. Pull it out. Oh my God. So we can see it next to another car as well. Ocean, out of the way, come on. Have you still got lock to lock? Oh my God. Mate, it looks so sick. Switch off, switch off. This thing looks ridiculous. Oh my God. This is like air low, permanent.
Talking to wheels and gun up road.
Oh my God, this is insane. Guys, please drop a comment. Let me know what you think. Do you think it's too low? For some, it just works on this car. It looks mental in the best way. I mean, you can look at a standard one, standard springs. It looks very much like a Defender. That looks like some form of weird race kit car. It looks super cool. Now we're gonna have to do something with those bump stops. We're gonna have to trim them down, and obviously do a load of checks, make sure the prop's okay, make sure that nothing scrubs. But it looks like it's sitting really nicely. It's still got that Defender stance on the front. And this is just, it looks great. I'm chuffed with that. It's just all about how it drives. You know, you can't have it looking like this, but it goes down the road horrible. So it'll be very interesting to see how this thing actually performs. You know, at speed and stuff like that, because we should get a lot of stability back, but I don't want this thing to be bouncing anywhere. But it looks mental. That is, that is great. No, Ocean. Here. Oh, come here, Ocean. Wait. Hiya. Sorry, Ocean. Don't go anywhere.
I know your game.
Come on, Ocean. Here. Don't do it. Come on, you. Okay,
So,
on a ramp, bump stops.
What you wanna do, babe? What you wanna do, babe?
So guys, what you've just seen us do there, or Leon, is actually cut the bump stop in half. We want to gain some clearance here. It was actually sitting, the axle was sitting on the bump stop, which is for when the axle or the vehicle is used off-road, it stops the wheel travelling up too high and damaging the bodywork. So we've trimmed this down because this vehicle's not going to go off-road. So we're going to bring this thing back down now, and like I said, we want to try and get this thing to retain at this level for as long as possible. So if that requires custom bump stops, then that's what we'll have to do. But during testing, we're going to leave these ones, just make sure we don't need to trim any more or add any more onto it. So we'll bring it down and see if it actually drops any further. Hopefully it doesn't, and see if we've got any room actually for the spring to compress. Go for a little test drive. Has it got full lock? Go full lock. And the other way. No scrubbing? No scrubbing. Can you believe it? That just looks so ridiculous. Flash the light bar. Look at that. So sick. Take it for a spin. You have rubbings?
We have rubbings.
A lot?
It's, yeah. I'll tell you something, mate.
What?
Through the corners, it's biblical.
Okay. Wow. So we've got some more work to be done on this, but for the time being, we love it. Is it a lot of scrubbing?
Only if you're really hanging it hard.
Which is never going to be done.
No.
Does it ride okay? Is it comfortable?
Ride's okay, yeah. If you go along, like down here and that, it's a little bit bouncy. But I went up the road and then swung a left. I went down all through the bends and that. It feels lovely.
It looks great.
Feels great. Apart from the speed humps. Big no-no.
Don't worry about those. Looks sick. Park it up.
What you wanna do, what you wanna do.
Guys, Leon's just been for a bit of a test drive, and there is a slight few concerns on, you know, when you're sort of pinning it left or right, you do get some rubbering from the arches, or it could be the mud flaps actually dragging on the road because it is actually super low. So we've got a little bit of refining to do before we... So it's a couple of days later, and our suspension kit is actually now fully settled in, and it has dropped even further. Now, I've actually test driven this for the first time this morning, and it's feeling great. It feels really comfortable. It's definitely a nice handling package, but we do have some issues that we need to address. It's definitely too low. It looks so cool, and I'm loving how it's looking, and I want to do as much to preserve that kind of that suspension drop as much as possible, but at the same time, the UK roads around here, country lanes and stuff, if you come across a pothole and you're to hit that quite hard, you're going to bottom out on our bump stop, and it's not going to be quite a nice experience because you're going to connect directly with the axle and the chassis, and it's going to, rather than be this sort of like a thud, it's going to be a loud crash, and it's not acceptable, if to put it rightly. We've also got the front mud flaps are dragging, the backs are absolutely fine, and the back bump stops, they're a safe distance away. However, long-term, real-life experiences with it, if you put people in the boot, they might connect as well, and so you might crash out on bumps and stuff like that. So, plan for this morning is, I've got something really interesting actually, and I want to know if you guys have heard of them at all, because they're fairly new to me. We did a chassis swap for a gentleman, and he brought these along, and they're called spring isolators, and they're from Bearmec, and the part number I'll drop in the description below. But essentially they're a 10mm puck, or a 10mm rubber block, if you will. The idea behind these spring isolators is, as the name suggests, is to isolate the spring from the chassis. So if you can imagine, you've got direct metal-to-metal contact, and over time that can cause creaks and squeaks, and obviously the unwanted vibration that's transmitted. If anything makes it through the tyres, onto the axle, that vibration is directly transmitted through the spring, onto the chassis, then through the body, and eventually makes its way to the driver's seats. These seem like quite a good idea. Now, this will improve the comfort of the ride, but obviously we're using it today as a bit of a cheat to add 10mm to our lowering kit. Now, whether that's to do with the size of the wheels and tyres that are on this, overall radius, we've got 18-inch wheels on this, and then even bigger tyres to make this thing, I think it's rolling on about 20, so it's actually got quite a big wheel and tyre package. So whether or not that has something to do with it, I'm unsure, but like I said, we're going to be fitting these to add 10mm to the overall height. Now, I like the rake of this it's still got that Defender look about it where the nose is down and the back is up. So I don't want to just fit these to the front. The back's not an issue in terms of road driving, but I don't want to level it out. I do like that nose down. That's personally me, and to be honest, I think just the fronts would do. Oh! Whether or not they... I think if we just fit them to the front, I think we'll get away with it. But like I said, I like the aesthetical point of view where the nose is down. So plan for this morning, we're going to fit these isolators to all four corners, which will lift it 10 mil. We're then going to take off the front mud flaps. We're going to trim off 3 inches off the front of the bottom so that they're not dragging. We're going to trim all the bump stops, and then we'll go for a test drive. And then hopefully it's good to go.
I don't want these to fall out, so I'm just putting these in to secure these to the spring itself.
Guys, this is our finished mud flap, which we've cut down and modified. I modified it a little bit further off camera, just to avoid the bowler side steps. I've rounded the edges. I think this is looking as neat as it can be. We've nut and bolted it. And this is obviously a 3-inch shortened mud flap, but retaining that, so sort of all the cutting was up, you know, up here under the chassis, so you won't see any of that. You'll just see a nice factory looking mud flap. And then, you know, once I'd done one, I just undid the bracket, reversed it, put it on the mud flap, traced it out, and did exactly the same. So this one's identical for the driver's side, so there won't be any off cuts or anything looking weird. This looks perfect. It's sitting perfectly level and perfectly straight, so it's looking great. The next thing I want to draw my attention to is the bump stops, and I have actually reshaped these. Again, I would like to have some custom ones manufactured, but just for the meantime, I've trimmed them down and chamfered them and smoothed them off as much as possible. And again, same here. So this is a rear bump stop which has been modified. It's essentially half height, and this is a front, which I've tried to smooth out as best as possible, but they're definitely flat, and that is still giving you plenty of room to actually bump on the stop itself. It's not going to be a very nice experience, but obviously it's not going to have a hard crash of metal to metal. And we've also trimmed down the corner side bracket on the chassis, because it could make contact with the diff. So you can see there's like a slight piece missing here, which is what we cut out earlier, because I saw a slight mark on the top of the diff housing just here, and it hadn't dented it, but it just marks the wax oil. So and that was obviously at full extension, so we've trimmed that off, and that will clear here, and obviously it'll bump out on the stop first now. So now it's literally just going to reassemble these with fresh nuts and bolts, pop the wheels on, and this part should be done, and we can go for a little test drive. So guys, this is our installation complete, with our new isolators, our trimmed bump stops, and our modified mud flaps. So, how's it going to look when it's on the ground? So we'll put the wheels on now, and we'll see if it's changed the stance. Obviously the springs have settled to the weight, so we should see immediately how big the difference is. I'm hoping it's only going to be that 10 mil, and proof's in the pudding. Let's go for a test drive and see if we got any odd noises or if it's all okay. Looks like plenty. So guys, after a bit of ripping, it would appear that everything is all is well. I can get the tyres to scrub on the arches when you're really tight left, tight right, really sort of planting your foot, but in reality that's never really going to happen. Mud flaps are definitely out the way, and you know, looking good as well. Stance has retained the same. I like that kind of rake that we tried to retain. Success, basically. I'm really happy. I mean, I took it along all the roads, getting up to speed, stuff like that. Hit a few potholes. It is lowered, obviously, so it's not the comfiest of rides, but it is. It doesn't feel like it's on, you know, proper coilovers, like a lowered car. If any of you know what I'm talking about. It doesn't feel awful by any stretch of the imagination. It feels relatively comfortable, actually. Whether that's to do with the Fox shocks or the springs that we've had manufactured at a set spring rate, unsure, but it's feeling good. And the bump stops are definitely not clashing out. Yeah, and it looks sick as well. I would like it a little bit lower still, but I just think it's out of the realms of possibility at the present, not without notching the chassis or stuff like that. But as far as like a bolt-on package goes, it just looks amazing. And this is like you can actually run this setup now. So yeah, I think success overall. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. I think I'm probably going to get quite a bit of hate for this one, and I understand why. I've already had a few comments over on Instagram. Give us a follow, by the way, which is @JuiceMotors, saying that we're undermining, you know, everything that Land Rover have created as an off-road vehicle. And my argument is, are you really going to off-road a vehicle that's 30 grand plus anymore? No. I appreciate some of them are off-road, and I appreciate what a Defender used to be, but I think there's going to be a few diehard fans that really don't like this. But that's always good, right? You know, you either love it or you hate it. Personally, I think this is absolutely sick, and I've had a lot of fun sort of creating this and building this one, and it just looks seriously mean. Regardless of whether or not you would personally choose it, if that came out behind you, you'd look in your mirror and think, that is a fast Defender 90, and it is, and we've just brought that sort of stance down to basically making it look like it is fast. And I think if this went to a car show, not a Land Rover, to be fair, if it went to a Land Rover show, people would look around it as well, probably get a few interesting comments. I think at a car show this would do very well, because it's so out of the ordinary, shall we say. Yeah, very interesting to look at, and it's a really sick one. I hope you guys love this episode. Yeah, do let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Please don't forget to subscribe. Give us a follow on Instagram, which is @JuiceMotors. And we'll see you guys for the next interesting project.
Stay with me if you want.